Hi, I'm Carol Knight Wallace with SixSigmaTV.net, and I'm here to talk about Workout and how it can bring fast solutions and fast results to your organization. First of all, Workout is a disciplined approach that in one day will make sure your issues are analyzed, your causes are identified, recommendations are created, action plans of 60 days or less are developed, and you obtain manager approval in that same day. You're going to use Workout to get fast solutions and fast results. You'll be able to solve it in a day and identify low and no cost solutions. You'll also identify quick wins that will unleash cost savings, improve customer service, and eliminate unnecessary work. You're going to use Workout when the issue is not complex, you don't need a lot of data, and when process knowledge may not be well documented and may only be in the heads of the people in the room. You're going to make sure that quick hit solutions, those that can be implemented in under 60 days, are feasible, that the issue can be addressed in a day, and that the solutions are low cost. You avoid Workout when participants have no control or passion for the issue. If they have no passion, they will not want to spend a day working on it. Avoid those issues that are complex and technical. This is not the tool for rolling out a brand new software program for your company. If you need complex analysis or rigorous problem solving, also avoid Workout. It's not the tool for that. And if you're going to need rigorous problem solving or rigorous project management in your project, this is also not the tool for you. Some keys to success. You want to make sure that the problem is under the control of the team in the room. You want to focus on local problems or problems that are only within that department or maybe cross one other department. You'll also look at a tightly defined issue, and the effort will be run by trained and certified facilitators. Make sure that the participants are passionate about the topic and that they can implement the solutions in less than 60 days. So how does it work? First, there are 3 phases and 7 steps to this process. First is the pre-event, where you work with the sponsor to confirm the topic, and they also identify the participants and the roles and responsibilities, and you also take care of all of the logistics that are key to making sure you have a successful event. When you get to the day of the event, there are 5 steps that you go through. And the first one is that the sponsor kicks off the event. They welcome the team, they talk about how excited they are to have them and are looking forward to their recommendations. Then you as the facilitator take the team through brainstorming of issues and solutions. You then prioritize those solutions, and once they have some clear recommendations, they develop action plans for those. The sponsor comes back into the room toward the end of the day, hears the recommendations, and approves them on the spot or rejects, whichever the case may be. You also, before you leave that day, set a time to meet with the sponsor in 60 days and set up a method to check in with the recommendation owners during the next 60 days. Post-event is probably the most critical. This is where the action plans are actually getting implemented, and the team is doing all of its work to make sure that the goals are met. You will also follow up with the sponsor in 60 days, and once you give your final report, you should be celebrating and communicating success to the rest of the organization. During the pre-event, you'll want to select a topic, and you want to make sure that topic is tightly defined. We'll just talk about a couple of good topics and bad topics. If you look at the top one, on the top right, it says a possible topic might be to identify, source, and plan implementation of a new HR system. This is probably too complex, too long-term, there's a technical solution, and centers around planning rather than actually taking work out. So you might look at a topic around such as eliminate unnecessary work and expense in the recruitment process. Now let's look down at the last one. It says resolve conflict between finance and operations. This particular problem doesn't empower employees or remove any work. If you have issues there, you might look at a topic such as improve efficiencies in operations and accounting process. Once you figure out the topic, you'll do a mini charter, and you'll have just one page that lays out what the problem statement is, talks about some possible measures, and if you have a flow chart, it will actually scope the part of the process that you're going to be discussing as a team. You'll also make notes about the current situation, current understanding, and you'll talk about what's out of scope for the team to be working with. The sponsor should give you some topics that will be out of scope for solutions. So when you start the event, there are key tools that you're going to use to make sure you have a nice disciplined approach to your problem-solving effort. During the brainstorming issues and causes step, you will of course be brainstorming, and you will also take those brainstormed ideas and create affinity diagrams, which will ultimately turn into an interrelationship diagraph. You'll use that diagraph to help you identify root causes. Those root causes then will go into the next step of brainstorming solutions, where people will brainstorm all the solutions they can and then prioritize them using a payoff matrix. In this step, they will compare impact versus effort and identify those solutions that will result in low effort but high impact. If you have too many solutions in this category, you might apply multi-voting to narrow the choices. Once the key recommendations are identified, you'll use a template to complete action plans. Those plans can be completed as a whole group, or you can split them up, depending on how much time you have and the desires of the group. Once those action plans are completed, the sponsor will come back into the room where the recommendation owners will present those action plans, and the sponsor will accept or reject on the spot. So let's talk a little bit about the roles and responsibilities. Facilitators will prepare and coach the sponsor. They'll guide the topic and the event planning. They'll prepare and facilitate the event. They'll document results. They'll also track progress over the next 2 months. And they will report outcomes to whatever company system that you use. Participants will be sure to articulate their issues and problems. They'll develop the recommendations. They'll assign owners to each of the recommendations, and they will implement them. Sponsors are responsible for defining and selecting the topic, setting in and out boundaries, constraints, and success indicators. They'll also select and notify the attendees, and they'll present the business context and the problem at the beginning of the meeting. They'll also decide on the recommendations and will maintain a bias to approve, but negotiate areas of question. During deployment, they'll be there to remove barriers and provide support and accountability. The recommendation owners are responsible for light project management and follow-up. They make sure the team is staying on track, and they also participate in follow-up meetings with the facilitators. People often wonder if they need to measure workouts. When you're first starting in this effort, measurement is not required, but as you get more mature and more used to the system, we really recommend that you use measurements. It'll give you the concrete data that says you're making progress and that the approach is meeting expectations. It also validates the employee's work and motivates them for further improvements. You'll also get the data that provides recognition that you're helping to meet your organization's goals. Remember that if it's important enough to spend a day on, it's probably important enough to measure. So let's close up with a few barriers to success. Keep these in mind as you're going about your workout. So the first one is inadequate preparation of the sponsor. Make sure the sponsor understands their roles and responsibilities and knows how to help the team be successful. There can also be insufficient rigor in selecting the issue or topic. If it's too big or too small, it will result in the team being unable to address it during the day. You also have to make sure you've got the right people in the room. If anyone's missing, the team will become stuck and not be able to move forward. Make sure there aren't too many recommendations. Keep it to about 4. They have 60 days to implement them, and they all have day jobs that they have to do on the side. Make sure action items are clear, not vague, that in 2 weeks, when you read them again, you'll be able to understand them. Also make sure there are follow-up on the recommendations. That's why you have follow-up meetings about every 2 weeks after the event. And if there's little or no support from upper management for implementation, it just won't get done. People won't be given the time they need to take care of the action items that they have coming out of the event. And if the sponsor doesn't truly support the recommendations, that can also be a big barrier to success. Bias to approve by the sponsor doesn't mean they have to accept everything. They should negotiate until they're comfortable. Thank you for joining us today. If you need more information on Workout, you can contact me, Carol Knight Wallace, at my website, knightvisionllc.com, or Carol KW at knightvisionllc.com. If you need information on other topics, please contact us at sixsigmatv.net. You can also see where to contact our Master Black Belts. And if you want to become a sponsor or request training, that information is also here at sixsigmatv.net. And for just questions, you can also email us at sixsigmatv.net. Thank you.